Hey, it's Rob Snowhite. It is April 26th. We are still under quarantine. It is chilly. It is raining. The water in the Potomac is too high to go shad fishing. So I'm going to sit here. We're going to talk about poppers today. And we're eventually going to get up to this one right here, tied for my friend Ira, who's supposed to be guiding for smallies this summer. We'll see how that goes. In the meantime, let's talk some history of poppers. This is what an old school popper would look like. Look at this one. It's pretty crazy looking. This is balsa, deer hair, and some paint. Lightweight. It's pretty cool looking. It's going to move water. It's going to sound pretty good, but it's not going to last too long when you smack it up against docks, trees, and rocks, etc. That's what poppers looked like back in the day. And I would show you some of my grandfather's poppers from back in the day, but those were at my brother's house in Herndon. So this was awesome. And then I was exposed to this kind of slider, which we talked about last week. If you reverse this head, you have a popping head. And that is cork. You can also take deer hair using one of Pat's tools and make a deer hair bug, make a mess, potentially cut your finger. You can have fun with it. It's not my bag, as Austin Powers would say. And then let's go into the late 90s, early 2000s when I'm working at Orvis Tyson's. This guy named Bob shows up, local dude, with his poppers. Mr. Bob's Lucky Day poppers. These, I thought, were the epitome of a popping bug. This was the glow-in-the-dark one. This was a chartreuse one. There was black. And there was sort of a chartreuse yellow. These are dye-injected rubber, absolutely indestructible. The fish would rip the legs off. They'd rip the eyes off. It would still fish. I've caught some huge largemouth. I've broken off fish on 3 and 4X tippet back when I used store-bought tippet. And got some pretty big smallmouth. Basically anything warm water on the top is going to eat this. But I could not figure out how to make a popper, which is why I ended up making the scorpion bug, the slider. Until a couple years ago, what I think may be one of the greatest inventions in maybe the last 2 decades of fly fishing. The double barrel popper. So I couldn't tie one of these because I didn't have the bodies. And nobody wanted to pick up Bob. He only sold to the local Orvis stores. And then he stopped. He also made these, the Prissy Miss. These are a little bit bigger. He switched up to marabou tails on these. I still have these. I don't fish them. Here's one in yellow. And another one in black. Large, rubber-legged, soft, densely soft, but not breakable popping bugs. So then these came on the market, and I love these so much. And I used to tie with them normally on a straight hook until Sam Looper came by and I learned a hack. So I'm going to teach you how to tie a very simple popping bug. You're going to notice I don't spray these with anything. I don't put eyes on them. If I were to hold this up to my lamp or my ceiling or out the window, I really can't tell what color this is. There is no definitive pattern on the bottom. And again, whatever's on top, you can't see. We normally have planes flying over every 60 seconds in Rutherford. They're not flying over now, but I don't know what they are, what brand they are. I can't see the top of them. Conversely, you don't know what's the bottom of your sandwich. When you go to eat a burger, you don't know what's on the bottom. Look on the bottom of some of your beer cans. There was one we had recently that said Carol Baskin killed her husband. So you can put anything on the top of a popping bug, it doesn't matter. It's garnish. Other things I don't need, I'm not including them. So what I'm going to start off to tie on the smaller double barrel is I'm going to use a Gamakatsu B10S, number 4. I am going to put my Zuddy's leg puller to the side. It's basically a backwards sharpened needle that used to point through, pull the legs out. I'm going to use green thread. You can have my scissors. And then for the legs, just some medium round rubber legs. And instead of feathers, I'm going to use this between the hook and the tail, Korean scrub yarn. And the tail materials, I will always put in some of this Senyo material. Forget the name, it's barred something. I put in some of that. I put in Flashaboo in the tails. And if I'm feeling really crazy, I might use some saltwater crystal flash. This is normal crystal flash, nice, limp, soft. This is saltwater, it's thicker. It makes great legs on terrestrials. And I used to have a lot of this until the wife threw out my huge purchase from Worldwide Sportsman. They put it in a shopping bag, a paper brown shopping bag, and she thought it was leftovers from lunch and threw it out. So I've only got a couple of these left. Hairline used to make it. If you can find saltwater crystal flash, let me know. It's awesome stuff. So what I'm going to do is grab my scissors, and I am going to start wrapping some thread. Build up a little base. I'm going to go back. If I got a little nub sticking up, I'm not going to cut it off. What this is doing is adding some filler. So when you put a hole into your flyman head, it'll have something to stick to. Now I'm going to just drop my bobbin there and let that sit. I've turned up the microphone volume. Dirty Bill says he was having trouble hearing me. I don't think anyone's ever been accused of not hearing me. So I'm going to take my popping head, and if you were to tie it on this way, you get a slider. You can tie on the heads 4 different ways. You can tie it on this way and have a slider. You can tie it on this way and have sort of a snow shovel, snow plow pop. Or you can turn it this way and have a louder pop. That's the way I'm going to do it. So there's a hole on one end, nothing on the other. So I'm going to take my leg puller. Gently, I'm just going to push it through. I'm going to look to see where it's coming out. I want it to come out if I mark it with a Sharpie. Somewhere right there. So I'm going to push that through. Try not to poke yourself. You can see when it starts to poke through, it turns a little white right there, and then it goes through. So while that's sitting there, I'm going to take some super glue. This is the trick I learned from Sam Looper. Little Loctite gel, and I'm just going to coat the top and the sides and a little bit of the bottom. And this is what's going to keep your popper head from rotating. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to slide it over. I'm probably going to get super glue all over my hands. Just enough that that hook eye sticks out. So now it looks like this. From there, I still have my thread dangling. I'm going to tie in the tail material. So I'm going to first tie in some of this barred Senyo material. I'm not using any natural material on this, only synthetics. You can always cut down the tail if it's too long. And there's a little bit of super glue there, so this is going to stand in nice and tight. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my new Mirage Flashaboo. And you can see I've already got it measured for shad flies. I'm just going to take a pinch of that. I'm going to lay that over. Wrap back here. Now I'm going to pull this back and make the tail all one length. The last bit of tying is just going to be a piece of this Korean scrub yarn. I'm not using hackle or schlappen. I'm just going to wrap back and forth. This size is buoyant enough to keep up pretty much any dropper you want to fish. Snowhite damsel and purple worm are the go-to. We'll use a killer bug sometimes. Just make sure as you're wrapping, you're not covering up anything. And now I am going to just wrap off this material. Now this popper is more or less done. That'll catch a fish. What I want to do now is add on the rubber legs. So normally where you would put eyes in it that the fish don't see, I'm going to take, about, what is that? 5 rubber legs, which is about what you can fit through the eye. And I'm going to pop a hole in my side of the eye I'm going to come out the other side. I'm using these eye sockets so I know where to balance the rubber worm legs. Now I'm going to pull this through and I'm done. I have probably the easiest popping bug of all time. And I'm going to tie one size larger. These are indestructible. They don't crack, they don't break, they don't dry out in the sun. I am not going to do anything else to that fly right there. That is all you need to do to catch a lot of fish and a lot of big fish. There's nothing on the top, nothing on the bottom. There's no superfluous additions to this. Everything you need to catch a fish is included. Now I'm going to tie one on the bigger size. And I need to switch up my hook. I'm going to get a bass salmon hook from Sabre. So I'm going to put that on. Same process. I'm going to start wrapping a ton of thread up front. Little fish are still going to try and eat these, but the bigger size should mean that you're only really going to catch a big fish. So I've got that glued. I'm going to take my head here, push through. Came out perfect. Some people like to heat this and put it through. You don't need to. Now I'm going to get a little super glue. Right there. Definitely fish these with a non-slip mono loop. Take a little bit of the barred leg material now. For this, we're going to wrap it around a little bit. Let's take a little bit of saltwater crystal flash. Those Mr. Bob's poppers, we don't even fish them anymore. Those are my personal collection. But if you come out in the summer and we're fishing shore for bass, we're going to be fishing one of these probably, or scorpion bug with a dropper below. There, I've got the tail on it. Now I'm going to take my Korean scrub yarn. Nice long piece here. I'm going to tie that in. I'm going to wrap, making sure that each wrap I'm not crushing the previous one. Almost there. Extremely simple. When I say this may be one of the greatest innovations in fly tying, next to maybe the Game Changer, which is from the same company, it's amazing. You really don't have to do anything but put a hole in this and put it on. So there you have it. Don't rotate it till that glue dries. Zuddy leg puller. It's flat on one side so it doesn't roll off your bench. And again, I'm going to stick this through the eyes. I'm going to take some longer rubber legs now. And then separate them. It really does not get easier than that. Now I can absolutely grab some Sharpies and put some dots on them to make it look a little more attractive to whatever might be down there. Let's do some brown spots. But it doesn't matter to the fish catching aspects of this fly. This is not meant to look like anything in nature. So therefore, why would I mark it up to look like something? There you have it. Quite possibly the world's easiest popping bug for warm water predators. Thanks for watching this episode. If you need to buy some of these flies or others, please visit robsnowhite.com. I'm still guiding once the water drops. Stay away from me. We're going to wear gloves. We're going to wear masks. And I've got flies for sale. Etsy, Facebook, Twitter. You can find me on all these. Contact me, purchase some flies. Just sent a $73 fly order out the other day for small stream fish. Thanks for watching.